Hey everybody, today I'm going to talk with you out of the 7th chapter of Luke, and I'm walking through the book of Luke, and I'm on the 7th chapter, so we're going to talk about this today. And Jesus is dining in a Pharisee's house. A woman comes in who is a sinner, and she pours some expensive oil over his feet and anoints his feet with oil and wipes his feet with her hair. This upsets the Pharisee, and Jesus answers in true classic Jesus fashion. And I want us to concentrate on verses 46 and 47. And Jesus goes on to explain to the Pharisee, you didn't extend to me the common courtesy when I came into your house, but this woman has come in off the street and done all this stuff for me that you as the host should have done. And in verse 46, he says, you did not anoint my head with oil, but this woman has anointed my feet with fragrant oil. Therefore I say to you, her sins, which are many, are forgiven, for she loved much. But to whom little is forgiven, the same loves little. Now, that verse just almost jumped off the page at me when I was reading that this morning. And I'm just going to tell you, we all have much to be forgiven for. Even if we think we've led pretty much a blameless and holy life, we haven't. We have all been born into sin, and we all have much to be forgiven. From my own personal testimony, I can tell you I have had a lot that Jesus has had to forgive me for. And that is one reason why I try to cling so close and tightly to him, because I know where I came from, okay? I know what he's done for me. And I find this story of the lady with the alabaster flask so relatable, because she really understood what was important. When this woman fell down at the feet of Jesus and washed his feet with her tears and anointed his feet with oil and wiped his feet with her hair, she understood humility, and she understood that she had much to be forgiven of. She understood that. And she was there in a posture of humility, asking Jesus to forgive her, really without words. How do we do that? How do we come before Jesus and ask him to forgive us with that same type of humility? Well, one thing that really helps me is I think about how far Jesus has brought me since he picked me up out of the mud and wiped the old nasty crust out of my eyes and set me on solid rock. I think about that. I think about where I was and where I am now, and I am only here today by the grace of God. That is very humbling for me. And I think it is for most people, especially as we look into God's Word and see how the Old and New Testament saints responded to God. At the end of the chapter, Jesus says to her, go in peace, your faith has saved you. You know, that's exactly the same way we're saved today, by grace through faith. When I was out walking Trixie, I was thinking about a couple of things. And for those of you who may not know, I have had a real health struggle this year. And it's been a kaleidoscope and a roller coaster up and down this year since February. Now, I am on the mend, but I still have days. And right now I'm going through some days that are challenging because I've had a medication issue. But one thing that really stuck in my mind is when we're afflicted, and I talked about this on my last video, so go check it out if you'd like to. But when we're afflicted, all we can do in that moment is humble ourselves and cry out to God and ask him to help us and have faith and trust that he will. We can't look ahead to what might come tomorrow. We have to know in that moment that the affliction that we're going through, that God is with us and he will deliver us from that. Just like this woman with the alabaster flask was seeking deliverance from her sin, we have to seek deliverance from our sin and also from our afflictions. So I want to encourage you, if you're going through something and you need a touch from Jesus, just humble yourself. Don't think too far ahead. Think about now. Think about this moment today. What are you going through today? How can you humble yourself today? How can you accept God's grace and mercy today? Don't worry about what's coming tomorrow. If he's delivered you today, that's your testimony. Guys, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. God bless. Bye-bye. Love you guys.